What's up, everybody? Badass here with a Battlefield 6 gun guide video, and this video is going to be 4 different builds that I got for you, 4 really fun and effective builds. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. First of all, for the assault class, we're going to go ahead and start with the M4A1. This is a gun that everyone's loving, everyone's using. It's got a really fast fire rate, really good damage, number, and also it's just an overall very versatile weapon. It's kind of like an AR SMG hybrid. If you're using the assault class and you want to be more CQB or aggressive, this is the gun to use. So I'm going to go ahead and show you quickly the attachments that we have on this bad boy. We're going to start off with the muzzle. It's going to be the compensated brake. Really good attachment. Very important attachment for this particular weapon, simply because it is very good for recoil control, especially horizontal. So the 14.5-inch carbine barrel is fantastic because it helps you with your bullet velocity and your aiming speed. So it's really good for those things. We're going to use the folding vertical. The reason why we're using this is over these 2 grips. It's the points that we had left. I think there's other attachments that are more important, especially because we already have the recoil. I forget what it's called. The compensated brake on there, which helps with recoil. So this is kind of just a little bit of a cherry on top when it comes to the recoil control. So we're going to spend 15 points on the 36-round mag. Obviously, we can go to the 40, but that costs double the amount of points, and we're able to put other really good attachments on. So the 36-round mag is perfect for this build and weapon. The soft point ammunition or hollow points, really good because it bumps that headshot multiplier up, and with the damage number that it has, that reduces your time to kill. So that's an excellent attachment for this weapon. And then we're going to spend 5 points on the iron sights here. With the ranges that you're using this weapon, 40 meters and closer, where it's most effective, iron sights are perfectly fine, and it gives us more wiggle room for attachments as well. So we're going to be using the 50 milliwatt blue laser. It helps your hipfire accuracy and your accuracy when you're aimed and moving, because you're going to be constantly moving with this weapon, because it's a very aggressive carbine to use. So we're going to go ahead and take the firing range real quick. I'm going to show you the movement speed and things like that. So as you can see, you can move around pretty quickly with it. So boom. It does climb a little bit. All you got to do is pull down on your mouse or your controller, and you're good to go with that. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So the next weapon we're going to be using for the assault class is going to be the B36A4. Now this is a really good weapon for longer range engagements, if that's how you're playing with your assault character. So we're going to go ahead and look at the attachments. Starting off with the muzzle, the linear compensator really helps you with your horizontal recoil control, especially during sustained fire, things like that. So we're going to run the 510 fluted barrel, really good for aiming speed and projectile velocity. As you can see, it drops your ADS speed to 200 milliseconds and gives you a 975 meter per second bullet velocity. So long range, this gun really excels with the correct attachments. I really like the stippled stubby for the underbarrel or the foregrip, whatever. I've tried all the other ones; they're all very good, but this one kind of changes the recoil pattern a little bit, and I really like the way it feels. So it's worth the extra points, in my opinion. Definitely slap that on, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we're just going to run the standards magazine for this weapon. Obviously, the more bullets, the better, but 30 rounds is actually fine for this weapon because it's so precise. You don't miss a lot of shots, and there's other attachments that we could put on. So this is kind of the least important when it comes to the attachments. 30-round magazine is fine. It reloads pretty fast, stuff like that. So we're good to go there. The soft point at the damage number we're at, those soft point rounds really work for the 25 damage weapons. It gives you one less shot to kill when you hit headshots, and it really helps your time to kill. So that's excellent, especially with how accurate this gun is. It's soft point's really good for this weapon. And then I was messing around with a lot of the scopes and red dots, things like that. I really like the ROM 1.5X on this weapon. Really like it. The OSA 7 one times is also very good for this gun as well, if you prefer this. But definitely give this a try. Don't sleep on this red dot, especially at range. Really good. So let's go ahead and take this into the firing range. I can show you what it's all about. So we'll do a couple of sprints up and down. We can see how fast this thing runs. Not the fastest ADS speed, but it's more for range. So As you can see, this thing really kills fast. All right, so let's see if we can do a range here. Boom. Hit those headshots, baby. Boom. Done. So all the way to the back of this firing range, this thing fucking smacks. So yeah, definitely give these attachments a try. So let's move on to the next. So for the next build, we're going to be going into the Engineer class. I really like the SGX for the Engineer class, and I'll show you why. So it hasn't changed from the last build that I did. Really, really good weapon for this class. Couple of reasons for that. Let's go ahead and get into... Sorry. Let's go ahead and get into the customization piece here. So it hasn't changed from last time. At the muzzle, we're going to go ahead and use the compensated brake for better overall recoil control. Great attachment for the gun there. And then we're going to spend 20 points on the 6-inch fluted. I think it's definitely worth it, especially for the improved handling that you get. One of my favorite attachments in this game, the compact hand stop, and this is what makes this gun so good for the Engineer. It allows you to run behind the tank without compromising your sprinting and sprint to fire speed and all that kind of stuff. So what this does is allows you to stay basically in a hip fire kind of stance while sprinting, and you never come out of it. So you don't have that sprint to fire speed and all that doesn't come into play. And I'll show you in the firing range what I'm talking about. Really, really good attachment for this weapon. It's like I said, really comes into play with the Engineer class. So hopefully I explained that right. I know I was fumbling a little bit, but you'll see what I'm talking about. 36 round magazine. Obviously, the more ammo, the better. We're going to spend 15 points on that, and then 15 points on the soft point rounds. Again, the 25 damage weapons. Soft points are absolutely must attach for those weapons. And then for the I threw this red dot on. I really like this mini flex. I wish I could see this on more guns, because I think it's a really good mini flex. It feels really good when you actually attach it to your weapon. So really good attachment there. And then we're going to go ahead and up the hip fire accuracy a little bit with the 5 milliwatt green laser. So great overall build. Let's go ahead and take it into the firing range, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So most weapons, you have a sprint and your gun's kind of up, but you see your gun never goes up. You're in a constant hip fire. You just run and you can shoot. So you can run behind that tank. You don't have to like get into that tax, in and out of that sprint or whatever, and it never really stops. But yeah, hip fire, boom, really nice. And then you can even aim down sight, and it's very accurate as well. Beautiful overall gun. I suck, but the gun is fantastic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. So for the next weapon we're going to be showcasing is going to be for the support class. I don't like LMGs on the support class. That's just my opinion. I don't think that they work with a medic as well as an SMG, so I'm running SMGs with support. You can run LMGs. I have not used LMGs in this game. I'm sure they're great. For me, I'd rather be fast and in the action and close to my teammates and be able to bounce from teammate to teammate and be able to get them up instead of just sitting back with a heavy LMG. Just my opinion. Anyway, we're going to get into the build. So obviously it's going to be for the PW7A2. And we'll get into the build here. So for the muzzle, we're going to run that linear compensator. Great for horizontal recoil control. Just kind of keeps the whole recoil pattern more in a straight line, so you can just pull down on your stick or your mouse and keep this thing accurate as you know what. So we're going to run the 180 millimeter standard. This is a bit more of a run and gun, kind of hip fire-ish almost SMG. So I like the improved aiming speed. So we're going to run the slim angled, really good for recoil control and aiming speed. Again, accuracy and mobility. There's nothing wrong with that when it comes to an SMG. And then 25 points on the 40 round mag. Really, really worth spending the 25 points because this thing has a crazy fire rate, and the more ammunition you can get, the better. Plus, you'll be kind of spraying and praying with the hip fire. So, more ammo, the better. So we're going to be running the full metal jacket ammo. You do not need the soft point for this weapon. The damage profile, you need like 3 or 4 headshots to reduce the time to kill. Not worth it. It's better to be fast, snappy, hit your shots, hip fire, be quicker than the other opponent, and with that fire rate, it doesn't really come into play very much. So the regular full metal jackets are perfectly fine for this weapon. This gives us a couple extra points to slap on an improved mag catch. Basically, just helps your reload speed. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to run iron sights with this build because at the ranges that you're using this weapon, I'll say 30 meters and closer, iron sights are perfectly fine. And then we're going to be running the 50 milliwatt green for really good hip fire improvement. Yeah, they could see you, but by the time they see you, you're going to smash them, and it won't really matter anyway. So let's go ahead and take this into the firing range. All right, so as you can see, this thing is really fast. You're running around, you're sprinting, and not a lot of people can catch you. So I do want you to notice kind of the different way the gun moves compared to the previous SMG. That's why I was really kind of hyping up that other attachment. Unfortunately, it's not on this gun, but I don't think you're going to be on this gun, especially because you're going to be hip firing a lot with this thing. So, boom, there's your hip fire, and there's your ADS. So this gun kills really fast, very accurate, and yeah, it's great for the medic class. So anyway, that's going to end the gun guide. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Hopefully you slap these attachments on, you try them out, and just try them out exactly how I said, and they'll definitely work for you. So I will catch you on the next one. Late.